Why does our Judaism often feel so unsatisfying? Now, I haven't answered for this question. I'm not saying it's going to explain every single time we feel Torah, mitzvot, Jewish observance isn't doing it for us, but I think it can explain most of the times. In this week's parsha, Parshat Truma, where God commands the Jewish people to create a mishkan, a tabernacle, the Torah lists the items that were necessary for the tabernacle: the gold, the silver, the bronze. And at the very end, the Torah mentions the avnei shoham, the onyx stones. And the Lchaims HaKadosh, one of the great mystical commentators, asks, why are the onyx stones at the very end of the list? They were considered the most rare and therefore the most valuable. They should have been in the beginning of the list, even before the gold and silver. Why at the end? And he answers, because the Torah clearly values that which requires more effort than it does which is that which is more rare. You see, the gold needed to be refined, the silver needed to be molded. Every one of the materials and items of the tabernacle needed to somehow be manipulated in some kind of way, except for the onyx stones, the avnei shoham at the end of the list, which according to the Talmud miraculously fell from the heavens. The Jewish people didn't have to do anything to make them usable, just pop them right in to the tabernacle, which is teaching us a very important lesson, that what is the most important thing in life, what we're going to get the most out of, is when we input and we invest and we sacrifice. Think about anything in your life that you feel really good about. It could be a relationship, it could be school, it could be a job. I bet you it required effort and toil. The great Radak, one of the commentators on the prophets, asked why, when comparing the anger that God will have with the Jewish people if we leave God's ways, the prophet says that God will get angry like a bear whose cub is pried loose from it. Why a bear? Why not the king of the jungle, the lion? What's special about a bear? And the Radak answered, because the way a bear gives birth to its young is very different than other animals. Its young emerges in its embryonic sac, and the bear has to somehow pry loose with its clumsy big paws. It has to use its teeth to be able to pry its young loose from the embryonic sac, so it has to invest itself that much more than other animals. And because it's more invested than other animals, in its nurturing of its young, it feels more for it. We feel more for other people, for causes in which we believe, for our Judaism, for our Torah and mitzvot, when we invest. If you give a little more money away to a cause in which you believe, you're going to feel more for that cause. MGE dinner, March 21st. Think about it. Think about the last time you felt really good after the gym. I bet you had to break a sweat. I bet it wasn't easy, but the feeling is the best. It's a very important lesson that rarity is not value. Effort and toil is value. And my bracha to all of us is that we apply more effort, whatever it is in our Judaism, right? If we're already coming on Shabbat, try to come a little earlier. If we've already got that down, maybe we pick up a prayer book, start praying during the week. If we've got that down, we take another mitzvah. You have to constantly be growing. If we stop growing, we atrophy. Things get boring and stale, and we become uninspired. And we wonder, why is my Judaism not doing it for me anymore? Because what am I doing for my Judaism? So my Judaism can do something for me. Shabbat Shalom.